Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thought we'd make a quick video to address some of these comments, and I want to talk also about the share dilution. The first comment, actually, I just saw this one. What is your view on the recently announced share dilution? How worried should we be? Now, we're speaking in the context of Tonix Pharmaceuticals. This is a company that you guys have requested I continue to make videos on because ultimately you guys seem to like the videos, and I love making content on this type of stuff. I mean, I think it's good to discuss. I make all kinds of stock market content, but in this stock in particular has been one that I've discussed for a while. So if we look at the last year, for example, down 21% at $15 a share. Now, I've made some videos saying basically under 20 bucks a share, and also I've mentioned specifically, just went under 15. Here we go. So it looks like 15 bucks a share is that point where I would really think about, especially under $10 a share. That is another one that I would look at, especially if it gets down that low. Now, the market cap right now, and I've mentioned this in the previous video, is 189 million, according to Google. Now, I'm going to go over to OTC markets. This can be used to verify NASDAQ stocks as well. All you do is type in the TNXP, it's otcmarkets.com. 189 million shares outstanding as of 11/10. This was a couple weeks ago, updated, verified by the transfer agent. According to this, is 11,776,000 shares outstanding. So I have seen that individuals are concerned about dilution. Now, I have also, if you type this in, right, just TNXP stock dilution, TNXP stock has experienced stock dilution due to a history of share offerings, including a significant one in June 2025 to raise up to $225 million through an at-the-market offering and a separate agreement with Lincoln Park Capital Fund. This dilution can decrease the ownership percentage for existing shareholders and is a factor contributing to recent stock price declines, which investors have linked to concerns about the company's financial challenges. The company has also undergone several reverse stock splits to maintain its stock price and its exchange listing. So dilution events, June 2025 share offerings. In June of 2025, Tonix announced plans to sell up to $225 million in common stock. This was an at-the-market offering of up to $150 million. Now, this one was 5+ months ago, so this is not even, this was announced 5 months ago, June 2025. Now, this is the AI overview. I encourage you to verify this information as well, because I know this, like the way AI works, I still don't fully trust all this AI. I think it can be a helpful tool. But remember, this is just the AI overview. And I call it just the AI overview because it used to be you'd actually have to do research on these things and find out for yourself on Google. You'd have to really hunt down certain websites and go to a lot of links. But it is helpful to have this. But just make sure you're verifying all this information as well. And I'm going to be also. But this included an at-the-market offering of up to $150 million through a sales agreement with AGP Alliance Global Partners. An additional $75 million in new shares was to be sold under a purchase agreement with Lincoln Park Capital Fund. The June 2025 offerings are part of a pattern with the company having a history of share offerings to raise capital. Now, not only a history of share offerings, but also a history of reverse splits. Now, the only reason they've done that, and speaking of reverse splits, the 1 for 100, I do remember that one. And then the 1 for 6.25 reverse split in May of 2023. That was a while back. But this one was the most significant one after the stock had gone on a 10x run. The stock did a 1 for 100 reverse split effective on February 5th, 2025. Now, if we look at anything else, decreased ownership, what's the impact of dilution? Well, we should know this as investors. Decreased ownership dilution occurs when a company issues new shares, which reduces the ownership percentage of existing shareholders. And then financial challenges. Well, the problem is that your weighted average cost of capital, your cost of capital goes through the roof when your share price drops because it's more expensive to raise money. Now, if you have an NVIDIA at a ridiculous valuation, it's very cheap for them to raise money. They should be raising as much money as they can right now. They should be selling into the significant share price growth they have seen before that share price comes crumbling down, because it already is starting to show some cracks, and there has been a retracement in that stock, but that's just another example. So when it comes to the cost of capital, dilution, all that kind of stuff, it is a concern. This is what we're getting here. Now, if you look at specific news on this, so this was June 12th, the 225 million share offerings. Keep in mind that the company has a cash runway into the third quarter of 2026. In fact, if you look at this was, I believe it was Q3 of 26, if I'm not mistaken, or is it 25? I forget. Let me see if this was the news. Okay, so this came out. Oh, this is as of Q3 2025, because I do remember seeing news that they had a significant cash runway. So Tonix Pharmaceuticals has reported a sufficient cash runway into the first quarter of 2027, a projection that extends past Q3 2026. The outlook is based on the company's cash position as of September 30th, 2025. So this is directly from their financials, it looks like. I would assume this is all 100% accurate here, coming directly from their financial information. So 191 million in cash and cash equivalents. Now, one thing I mentioned in the last video is the fact that you have a market cap that's basically equivalent, or you have a little bit more cash than the market cap currently is, but still it's ridiculous. Like we're down 59% in the last 6 months. This is after the positive news came out regarding the Tonix TNX 102SL and the drug approval. But it's just one of those things where it's pretty crazy to think about. Now, this chart, don't even pay attention to. They've done a lot of reverse splits to maintain their listing on the NASDAQ. Now, as long as this stock does not go under $1, I don't see any risk to a reverse split again. But at the same time, going from 15 down to 1 is pretty brutal, especially with everything this company has, right? So I don't expect it to go that low. I think like with the cash runway they have in the market cap, I'm looking at this and it kind of blows my mind. This is the problem with the stock market is a lot of times, the market can be irrational longer than you can stay solvent. So it's like you can buy into this and you can keep on loading the boat on a company that you believe is a great investment that literally has their cash, one asset, their cash, not to mention their drug pipelines, their intellectual property, everything they have in terms of their products that they're selling and their marketing. And the TNX 102SL is now being distributed to pharmacies, Tanya, under the brand Tanya. But like this is just absolutely ridiculous, and so that's what I'm looking at. Even with dilution, if they're raising more money and they dilute, more, then that means they're going to have more cash, and that cash runway is only going to increase. The market cap might go up. The shares outstanding are only at 12 million. So if they add another 10 million shares outstanding, now you're at 22 million shares outstanding. Okay, or 21 million shares outstanding at $15 per share is a $315 million market cap, but that's still, you have $200 million in cash. That's only one asset on the balance sheet. I'm just saying, like, it's kind of crazy to me. It really is. How I would say it's pretty undervalued, this company. Now, Tonix with a bigger play, $200 per share. If sales are good in the future, they got access to more market. So, I mean, $200 share price from the current level, that is a 10x. Yeah, it says 15 now. $150 is a 10x. Now, if you do in fact get that, this thumbnail was all about, hey, can it 10x again? It did 10x previously. What's the thought about the share repurchasing program? I did not hear about that, actually. I did not hear about a share repurchasing program. Now, if it's dilution, yes, they've announced dilution, but I've not heard about the share repurchasing program. One day the great squeeze will happen. It will skyrocket. I do think this will happen. Now, I'm not sure what the short interest is. That would be another thing to look at. If we look at the, let's see here. It was kind of funny. I came over to Finviz the other day, and Cloudflare was having an outage. And just like Amazon was having an outage, now it's Cloudflare. Well, I couldn't even access any of the charts. And it just shows you how interconnected all this is. A few companies control the internet, basically. And it was just downing all kinds of websites. But let's see here. So we have, what am I doing? TNXP, duh. All right. So if we look at the short interest, it should tell us on here what the short interest is. 1.84 million shares short. So if that's the case, 1.84 million, if you see that number there, 1.84 million shares shorted, and the shares outstanding at 11 million, we'll just say 12 million. So make it easy, give it a little bit of wiggle room here. But if you take that, then you're looking at basically 12 million. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 12 million. So 15% short float. This looks like, so it's what is considered a high short float percentage? What is considered a high short float percentage for a stock? We can try to find out. Over 20% is considered high. So in terms of a squeeze, I would give this some more time. If the short interest continues, there will be a squeeze. I think, the shorts can pile on for only so long, but a percentage above 10% is generally considered a fairly high, while anything above 10% is a warning sign for traders. So I would say, yeah, there is going to be a squeeze. If we're looking at this metric in particular, the shares, the short interest. I might make a separate video on that altogether. 1.84 million short interest, and the short ratio, you can take a look at that. But really, out of the shares outstanding, total 11.78 million. So there it is, 15.59%, roughly, 15, 16% short float. It's a good amount of the float is shorted. Not exceptionally high, but hey, 15% is getting up there. So anything more than 10% could be a warning sign. 20% plus could definitely be something to look out for in terms of a potential squeeze for Tonix Pharmaceuticals. Getting really tired of donating money, shorts and at the money. Yeah, so like I said, the shorts, they're continuing to pile on. Let's hope that, a squeeze does happen to... I've never been a big fan of short selling. I think it's just kind of, I don't know. It is what it is. But here we are. This stock defies the laws of physics just to screw me. It really is unfortunate because, you have such a great company. You have a company that has so many pipelines, and they just launched their Tomnia, and here they are, and, it just sucks. It really does. The company's heavily undervalued. Broken trust between management and investors driving the price down. Nonetheless, it has immense potential for a powerful rally in the future as a repricing seems unavoidable. I would 100% agree with this. 100% agree. This is a really good comment. This is why I don't know what this means, but I think this is a good point here. So anyway, I would love to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. Just thought I'd read through some of your guys' comments on this and kind of go over some of the concerns. The dilution right here. What is the view in a recently announced share dilution? How worried should we be? The only thing I've seen about recently announced share dilution for Tonix would be in June, right? June was the 5 months ago. Unless I've missed something, let me know in the comments down below. I'm just trying to think about missing any type of Tonix Pharmaceuticals. Here it is. So 25 million share repurchase program. Okay, so let's go over this real quick. 25 million share repurchase program. The company also announced a 25 million share repurchase program, which could be seen as a countermeasure to dilution and potentially signal merger and acquisition. Hold on, 25 million. I must have missed this news. When did this news come out? Made on November 18th, 2025. So this just came out here. So it's intended to return value to shareholders and was just announced after the company launched its newly approved fibromyalgia treatment. Here it is. All right, so I missed this news. On November 18th, 2025, Tonix Pharmaceuticals announced an increase in its share repurchase program by 25 million. Board approved an additional 25 million for share repurchases, and total authorized repurchase amount now stands at 35 million. The program aims to enhance shareholder value and market confidence. So not much, but there it is. So we'll see what happens, guys. I'm just saying, I think this stock will pop eventually. It sucks in the meantime, but thanks for all your comments. I know this has been a popular one. You guys have also commented that you want to see more Tonix videos. So it seems like this is one of the most popular biotech stocks still, even today after the announcement has been made. And so here we are. And so I want to thank you all for tuning into this video. Let me know if you guys have any questions or anything. Once again, the short interest is getting up there. Wait on that, see what happens. But this could result in a pretty big squeeze. I'm liking the technical setup here. Under $10 a share is just ridiculous. I don't think there's any reason why this thing should be under $10 a share, in my personal opinion. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And it looks like news just also came out. I just missed this. Tonix Pharmaceuticals says FDA cleared its IND for TNXP-102SL in major depressive disorder, enabling a phase 2 Horizon study. So there it is. Thanks so much, guys. Take care out there. Happy Thanksgiving if I don't see you again. I'll probably make another video. But thanks so much, and we'll see you guys in the next one.